Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another brand new tutorial series on Python. And today we'll be looking at how to use the Flask framework in Python. Okay, so what is Flask? Flask is a micro framework, okay, written in Python to help developers able to create web apps and web services in Python with less boilerplate involved. Okay, without wasting much time, let's look at how to download and install Flask on your system. So first, you have to download Python on your system to be able to code along. Of course, Flask was written in Python. Okay, so at this time of recording, Python is at version 3.94 currently. So make sure you download that for your operating system, for the right operating system, and also move on to flaskpaletteproject.com to get the documentation on Flask. If you have any trouble following this video, you can also email me and I will respond to that. Okay, so let's jump into it. So after you have Python set up on your system, okay, you should be able to do this in your command line. You should be able to type Python, and then when you have something like this as a response in your command line, then you have successfully installed Python. Okay, but when you have anything different from this, then you have to redo the installation process all over again. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's open our favorite text editor and mine happens to be VS Code. Oh, sorry, I already had a project opened. Okay, so I'm going to open the directory where I'll be working in. So I'm going to create a folder here on my desktop called Flask YT. Okay, so after we have Python installed, we have to also make sure we have Flask installed on our system. To be able to do that, open your terminal once again, but I prefer to do this in my integrated terminal in VS Code. Okay, to open this integrated terminal, you have to just go to this tab right here and new terminal, and it's going to open the same view as I have here for you. Okay, alright, so next we have to install Flask. To install Flask, it's simple as typing pip install Flask. Okay, so what is pip? Pip is a package manager in Python. Okay, it allows you to install libraries, modules, and packages without actually going to dig it out of the internet. Okay, it actually does everything for you automatically with just some few commands like pip install Flask. Okay, alright, so we have Flask installed. Alright, so now let's move on to our code. So I'm going to create an app called app.py.
Yes.
Alright, so we have to first import Flask to be able to use Flask. So okay, so now we have to create an instance of Flask. Okay, so I'm going to store that instance in a variable called app. Okay, and now we have to run our Flask app. Alright, so it's as simple as typing app.run and passing in the debug option. Setting it to true actually runs your code in development mode, and setting it to false runs your code in production mode. As simple as that. Okay, so whenever you are coding on your local PC or testing things out, you always have to run it in debugging mode. Okay, alright. So now this is how a minimal Flask app look like without any routes. Okay, so now let's test our code. Okay, there we go. So you can see our server is now running on port 5000, I guess. Yeah, on port 5000. We can open that up, and then straight ahead out of the box it tells us nothing found. Okay, not found, 44. Okay, that's because we have no route specified in our application. Okay, so on our home routes, like the slash, our home routes, there's nothing. We are rendering nothing. There's no route actually here. Okay, so now to define routes, you have to use a decorator. So at app.routes, which is provided by Flask. So then you provide the route, so like slash. So this is a function decorator, like decorator. It wraps around a function, so you have to write a function below. So this is going to be my index function, and we have to return something. Okay, so home page. So when we go back and refresh our page, you see what we returned as. Okay, so you can see right there, home page was what we returned at our index route. Okay, so in our next video we'll be creating a business website where they have this about, contacts, and services with some beautiful UIs involved. Okay, alright, so next video, peace.